Good morning guys, Sunday the 11th of April 2021. So the first thing I done as soon as I got out of the car is just walk down this back side of the fence to check on the shed. And I'm not sure whether you can see this or not, but there's lots and lots of condensation on the roof there because we had a hard frost last night. So it just shows how much that's protected that shed. But more importantly, I didn't have time and I didn't have the energy to put the bunting flags up there yesterday. So I've actually came here because I knew we'd be able to see from the back whether the seagulls had pecked any holes in it yet. And as yet, they haven't. So that's the first job for this morning. See you later, guys. Good morning, guys, and welcome down to Allotment. Just in the shed having a cup of coffee before I make a start. All the birds are fed and watered, and I'll give you a bit of an update on the milky cock. So it looks like he has recovered. But I'm still not going to tempt fate. It does look like he has recovered. He's eating and drinking well now. He's putting a little bit of body weight back on again, and he's still getting up to his box and he's still sitting the eggs. However, he really can't fly properly. He flies lopsided. Now, I don't know whether that's a result of his illness or whether he's banged his wing at some point. It's something I've never seen before in all my years of keeping pigeons. However, it does appear to be on the mend. We gave him his last half a tablet yesterday, and that's it now. I'm going to leave him a couple of days and see how he goes. I don't want to over-medicate him, and I think he's now turned the corner and he's on the way back up again, with a bit of luck. However, he has now got this disability where he can't fly very well. But as long as he can get up to his box, he can get out into the aviary. I don't know how he's doing it, but he can get out into the aviary, and he's out there now. So as long as he can get into the aviary, he can get into his box, he's eating and drinking and putting weight back on again, there's a good possibility he'll make it. How it'll have affected him for fertility, I don't know. All we can do is wait and see. But like I say, guys, if we get anything out of him at all this year, they won't be for sale, I'm afraid, until I've got a few pairs. And then next year, there'll be as many as people want. It's just the way it is, I'm afraid, guys. But there we go. Really delighted about the little frill stencil as well. The toy stencil, rather, of the satinette and the Lebanon white bar cock. It's going to be a beauty, that. Just checked in the frill stencil shed, the other one, where we put the blondie neck cock with a white check Trigonino. We've got the black white bar toy stroke frill stencil paired to the little reduced Trigonino, and we have the other blondie neck cock paired to the black Lebanon F1. And it appears the eggs are full, certainly in the top nest. I only really got a chance to do the top nest because the other ones were a bit nervous. I didn't want to scurry them off the nest and crack the eggs. But certainly the top two off the white check hen, Trigonino, and the young blondie neck cock are definitely full. Still no signs of them chipping yet, but I think they'll be about midweek, those, when they should hopefully hatch. So just a bit of an update on the pigeons, and that's about it. I'm going to have this cup of coffee, guys, and I'm going to go out and get them bunting flags up on the top of that roof. If I get nothing else done today, I need to get that done just to stop any seagulls coming down and pecking holes in that shed. Stay with me, and I'll catch you later on. Right, guys, there we have it. The bunting flags are on. Hopefully that's going to stop the seagulls and the crows or whatever it is that keeps on pecking plastic on the roofs. They have actually served the purpose well up on the garage. They're looking rather tattered and worn now, but they have managed to keep them gulls off there and stop them from pecking leggy holes out of the plastic. So they do work. They're going to need replacing this year at some point. Quick look in the garden at the lettuces and onions. Seem to be doing alright, guys, in spite of the frosts. I'll give them a little bit of a drink later. Right guys, it's 12:30 now. I need a cup of coffee. We've got another little job jobbed, or a couple of jobs jobbed. So we've now got this sheeting screwed up into the legs. Keeps all the legs vertical now. Stop them going, if you kick them and kick them skew with, and that would stop it, that'll stop it dropping. So we've used one of those sheets and we've got all that screwed to the front, and we've made ourselves a set of steps up to the shed out of some small pallets, as you can see. And then what we've done is we've used some of the boards that we took off that fence that we broke down with the pallet breaker yesterday. And then to keep them more symmetrical, we've basically screwed into these hardwood timbers, and we've used a couple of bits of these fencing panels that we dismantled and salvaged yesterday, and likewise on this side, and they're all screwed together. And as you can see, guys, solid as a rock, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right up to the shed. I'm going for a cup of coffee. Right guys, I've just had me a cup of coffee. Right, good bit of progress. You don't know where the time goes. The morning's completely disappeared. But on a positive, we got all, you probably noticed when I showed you the bunting flags on the roof of the shed, we got all that loose plastic that was flapping about, cut off as well, and we got it all cut neat and tidy. Then we cut those tunnelized lats all to the same length and put 3 down each side of the shed, and then stretched over the bunting flags and tied them on. Even that was a marathon because the shed is quite a height off the ground with being raised on that pallet floor. My little step ladders, I've got to stand right on the very top of them just to be able to reach up. So it was a bit of a marathon, and the wind was blowing a hooligan. I tied myself in knots more times than enough with the bunting flags. I tied myself up. Never mind, we got it done in the end, that's the main thing. And then I thought, right, what's the next most important job? So what I'd done is I thought, right, I kept climbing into the shed to get tools and bits and pieces, and I thought, oh, this is hard work, this is the height of it. I know. I'll get a couple of pallets and we'll make some steps. So I had some small pallets, but they're hardwood. And what I'd done was I basically had a full pallet, started off with a full pallet, then I cut one of those in half, and I put that on the next step, and then the off piece that I had left obviously had no support at the back, so we cut a length of 2x2, 2 lengths of 2x2. We screwed the boards into the 2x2 and the bottom boards into the 2x2, which left a gap exactly right for a slating lat. So we put a tunnelized slating lat in there through with some big long 3-inch screws, hold it all together, and that repaired that offcut of the pallet as well, which became the first step. Then we put the bricks up and we got it all level. We got the levels on it, we got it all level, got it all firm. But as I was walking up it, they were starting to move about. So I decided I'd just put those runners on the side. I was actually going to use some new timber, and I thought, you know what, for this job, we can use some of the salvaged wood off the fence that we broke off yesterday. And that's exactly what I did do, and it's done the job fantastic. So there's a job done already with salvaged wood. Makes a big difference, guys. I'm having this cup of coffee. I've sat down now and my back's going crazy again. It wasn't too bad this morning. But it doesn't take much for it to set it off, I can tell you now. I'm thinking I might, after this cup of coffee, go over, and on that back wall where you've seen the boards had all bowed out from the shed, really bad, chicken shed side, I'm thinking I might cut a couple of lengths of that tunnelized 2x2 and get those screwed into place, and then go and get the boards screwed back down flat. So at least if we get any rain, it'll keep the rain out for the time being, until we get the shed finished off and plastic coating, guys, which I'm not doing today, definitely not. It's getting quite a marathon to keep these plants watered in the greenhouse now. The temperatures are getting up in the weather, and they keep drying out really quickly. so I'm constantly having to keep on top of them with watering. If that's all I had to do, great, but it isn't. I've got all sorts of other things to do. Midweek, where I think it was Wednesday, my last day off, midweek, I went round to Wilkinson's to see if they had any plants in, and I spotted 2 grapevines already starting to sprout. So I got myself 2 little grapevines, because I'm not sure whether that other one that I bought is going to do anything at all. It's supposed to be a grafted one, but there's no signs of life on it at all this year. So I bought these 2, a black and a red, and we'll, sorry, a black and a green. So we'll see how they go. They'll go in the new big greenhouse, one at each end, one on the front wall, one on the back wall, and we'll run them across the rooftop or something like that, guys, if they ever get to that size. Gonna have this cup of coffee and I'll crack on. I'll see you later, guys. Right, guys, as you can see, we're making perfect use of these 4 by 1 inch thick bits of rail off that fence that we salvaged, and we're basically just cutting them down, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but basically what we're doing is we're putting these midway between, screwing into the floor and the timber. They're also acting as an extra support for this roof, screwed up into here and here. And then what we've done, as you can probably see, all these are nice and tight now. We've basically stapled all of these all the way down, and makes that really solid on that side. So we've got enough cut for another one for there, another one for there, and another one for there. And if we've got any scraps of it left, we'll do likewise with this door and this front piece here. But even if we haven't, we'll find something substantial. Right, guys, and there we have it. So we've got these 2 runs in here now, and this is now solid as a rock, and all our boards are pulled tight again now. We had a struggle with one board here, and I've had to drive a big screw through it. It was the only thing, the staples just wouldn't pull it. So I ended up having to put well, it was bowed at that place and there was nothing to staple to. Put a big long screw in there, but we'll just trim that off with the grinder. And everything's all close boarded again now, as you can see. With the exception of this one at the top here, but there ain't a great deal I can do about that, because I think the board is cut off line. It doesn't actually overlap, but once the visqueen's on, we'll be fine. The thing is, we've added the strength to this shed no end with these now, guys, and we've done likewise with that. Tony had made an attempt at doing it, and he put some good strong timbers in there, and one across the roof and one down this back side here, but we obviously need a lot more in here, and we need a short length down here and get that tightened up, and another one just in the door there, and then that's as secure as it needs to be for now, guys. Right, guys, we've got the shed all braced up, and you'll see I've now started to shelve it out. Got all this tannalised 2x2 timbering in framing, all skewered across here, likewise across the backs, which pulls this shed square now. We've used the offcut of another fence paling right across the full length of the back there. Then we've put in another length and a leg and a brace to this middle support, and I can swing on this now, guys. And just as for good measure, we put a length in right up to the door. We won't be putting a shelf on here, of course, a bench on here. That was literally, I just thought, well, instead of just putting a short piece in there to take the shelf, I thought we would brace the entire side, and likewise, that's done that as well, guys. This shed is absolutely solid now. Even if any gales get up now, it's going to stay put. I really have had enough. That's my lot for today. See you later, guys. And just like that, guys, it started snowing whilst I'm putting the tools away. And there's quite a lot in the sky by the looks of this. I'll get cracking, guys. I'll get the tools put away. I'm going for the coffee. Right, guys, you know the routine by now. I'm having a cup of coffee. And boy, did I need it. Right, productive day again. I haven't killed myself today. In fact, I've got far more done than I thought I was going to be able to do. I didn't think I was going to be any good for anything today. And I was in a lot of pain last night, but after taking the tablets, and I had a half decent night's sleep last night, so I felt a little bit better this morning. It was still, I always have the back pain, but it wasn't too bad. It was bearable. Come up, and it was my intentions just to put the bunting flags on the roof, just to save the plastic from the seagulls wrecking that again, and then I was going to go home. But because I still felt relatively okay after I'd done that, I thought, well, I'll get the steps in, and if nothing else, that's a good job as well, because I'm sick of, now when I'm going in and out of the shed, I'm having to step right up, and it was a heck of a height, and it was hard work actually getting into the shed. So I thought, right, I'll get the steps made. How can I do this? Seen the little pallets and set to and made the steps out of the little pallets. And that went better than I expected. So really strong and rugged, and just a nice elevation up to the shed. And worked out quite nice. Once I got that done, of course, and had a cup of coffee and a little bit of a rest, I thought, well, I could do with getting those braces in just for to get all the shiplapping pinned back down again. There was big wide gaps between them where they were all buckled and twisted on one end. So I put those 4 braces in and was so impressed with how that went and how much it had started to strengthen that shed and tighten it all up. I thought, well, I'll start putting the framing in for the bench. There's going to be a bench in an L shape right across the full length of it, and then one end. And then underneath there'll be another 1 or 2 shelves which will go underneath those as well. And then I'll make some thinner shelving all the way up to the roof. I intend this time to make sure this is shelved out before we start filling it with clutter. It'll also enable me to get some of this stuff that's on the floor lying around in here and the tools hung up on one thing and another once it's all finished, and likewise start emptying the garage and tidying that out again so I can use that as a workshop for the circular saw, big bench saw that I have in there, one thing and another. So it's all coming along tickety-boo. I haven't killed myself, I've just potted. It's 4 o'clock now and I'm calling it a day. I'm just having this cup of coffee and then I'm going down home. And I'm going to have a nice chill out night. A bite to eat and then just a little chill in front of the laptop on YouTube's, or possibly even making a start on these videos. I don't know whether they'll do them tonight or midweek, guys. They'll come up when they come up. But yeah, so good progress overall. I'm happy with today's work, and that's pretty much a good day's work and a good jobbed. As always, guys, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, keep yourselves out of harm's way, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.